Hello, this video will walk through setting up and using the custom combat tracker. I'll be using Foundry 12.327, Star Wars 1.901, and no active modules. The assumptions are that you're somewhat familiar with how combat works, although I'm about to go over the large part. The single largest thing that's relevant to the system here from combat is that although each actor rolls initiative, when you're actually in the combat, any actor can take any initiative slot from anyone on their team. So in order to make the system reflect that, we have to make sure that the teams are set correctly. So we can come over here to Smuggler Guy, who's a player, and click Token, and validate that he is friendly. And we can pop on over to Vader, and validate he is hostile. If we have vehicles in the combat, we need to make sure that they have a pilot set if we want them to be directly in the combat. So click on over to the crew and make sure that we have a pilot set. This will allow the system to use the relevant skill from the pilot for initiative. With all of that checked out, we can go into combats, make sure we don't have one, select our lovely actors, and send them into combat. We have a little list of the actors at the top, and a blue banner indicates that they're on the friendly team, while a red banner indicates that they're on the enemy team, and a transparent banner indicates that they're on the neutral team. Normally I would click roll NPCs, but since I don't have any players connected, I'm just going to roll for all. And once I begin combat, we can see that the initiative slots have become generic. So even though it was PC2 that rolled the 2 successes and 1 advantage, we can have Smuggler Guy go and claim that slot. And if they say, oh, actually I didn't mean to go there, the GM can right click it and click unclaim this initiative slot to give that back, to make it slottable by someone else. When the actor has claimed a slot, the little picture becomes gray to indicate that. So we can click that again and show you that the picture's gray, just to help remember who has claimed a slot. And you can click through and roll over to the next round, and the slots become claimable again. You can also click on the pictures to go to that actor. In case you have like 3 copies of Stormtroopers in combat and 2 of them have already gone, you can click on it to go zoom over to that specific one. Okay, you can also add extra slots by clicking this little plus here. Give it a disposition and an initiative. And there's now a new slot that can be claimed by anyone. You can also remove slots by right-clicking them and clicking Remove Initiative Slot. Okay, so sometimes that gets a little buggy, but if you right-click it again and remove it, it will work. So that's adding slots. You can remove combatants as well. They just need to have claimed a slot to do that. So we can right-click the claimed AT-AT slot and click Remove Combatant, and it goes away. It does leave the initiative slot there, which you can then remove. Again, you might need to click it twice, and that might be difficult if they happen to be the same initiative. I know that that's kind of a clunky workflow, but when I was talking to people while implementing it, there were wildly different expectations around what should happen when you remove an actor. And the rules don't really prescriptively say that what should be done. They do suggest removing the bottommost slot, but that's optional, and some people don't like that. So I've left it up to the GM to have that option. Okay, so gotchas. You may have noticed that I've been clicking on a token before claiming the slot. That's because if I don't, I get this lovely message that says you must have exactly 1 token selected to claim an initiative slot. As a player, if you were really as anyone, if you only have one token that you own on the scene, you don't need to click it. You can just click claim slot. So players can generally click claim slot without needing to do anything extra, whereas as the GM, you need to click which specific one you want to claim the slot, since there are many, and there's no way for the system to infer which one you wanted to claim that slot. It's also worth noting that if I add a hidden actor and roll his initiative, even though he shows up here for me as the actor, players will see a little black box with a question mark in the actor summary and hidden actor in the combat tracker. So they'll know that someone has went, but they won't know who or what they did. And you can't remove, I'll try and fix this in 902, but you can't remove a slot that's currently up for claim. Well, that's a bad example of it, but just trust me when I say it, you can't. If you run into that, it's fine. Just cycle the turn and then hit remove, and it'll work. I hope. Which leads me to the last thing. If you encounter bugs with this, please file a bug report, file an issue on the GitHub. I am not playing the system as frequently as I'd like right now, so I don't encounter all of these. And even when I am playing, I still don't encounter all of them. And if nobody reports it to me, then it's very unlikely to get fixed. However, I don't want the system to be buggy. It just is. And I'll happily fix bugs that I know about. So please do report it with the steps, whatever it is that you happen to do that triggered it, if you know them. And the final thing, if you hate this, if it's too buggy, which you might think that's totally fine, you can go into the settings and turn off use use generic slots. And this will revert to the built-in Foundry combat tracker, which is less buggy but doesn't actually support the rule set. So you do always have that option. And that's it for this video. I think the next one will be on the enhancements module, and then I'll try to get into some GM and player tips in a follow-up video. Hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.